You walk through the front door after work, a grocery run, a family gathering, or maybe just a few hours around other people. You place your keys on the counter, you take off your shoes, you set down whatever you were carrying. Then you exhale. Not a dramatic sigh, just a slow release you didn't realize you had been holding. Your shoulders drop. The room is quiet. Nothing is asking for an immediate answer. No one is watching your expression, waiting for a reaction, or expecting you to keep a conversation moving. Then your phone lights up. We're getting together later. Are you coming? You look at your familiar chair, the television, the kitchen, your dog sleeping near the couch, the book you haven't finished, maybe just the empty room, and before you even decide what to say, you feel relief at the thought of staying home. From the outside, this can look like aging. People may call it stubbornness, social withdrawal, or a loss of curiosity. They may joke that you have become antisocial, that you never want to do anything anymore, that you would rather stay inside than experience life. But perhaps the strongest feeling in that moment isn't exhaustion. Perhaps it is safety. For many people born between 1965 and 1980, home has gradually become more than the place where life happens. It has become the place where they feel least observed, least demanded of, and most in control of their emotional energy. And that changes the question. Instead of asking, "Why don't I want to go out anymore?" it may be more revealing to ask, "What does my home give me that the outside world no longer does?" The moment the front door closes, something inside you may change. Outside, you might be responsible, alert, helpful, polite, productive, or prepared. You adjust your tone. You read the room. You deal with traffic, noise, schedules, interruptions, and other people's expectations. None of those things has to be terrible. You may enjoy your coworkers, your relatives, or your friends. But enjoyment and effort can exist at the same time. You can genuinely like people and still spend enormous energy adapting to them. That is the part others do not always see. They see the invitation you declined. They do not see the mental preparation that came before it. They do not see you imagining the drive, the parking, the noise, the small talk, the uncertain ending time, or the awkward moment when you want to leave but feel obligated to explain yourself. You may even know that once you arrive, you will probably have a good time, but getting there requires entering a version of yourself that is socially available again. And sometimes that is the version of yourself you are most tired of performing. At home, dozens of small uncertainties disappear. You decide the lighting, the temperature, the volume, the food, the schedule, the clothing, the conversation. You can answer your phone or leave it in another room. You can change your plans without negotiating. These choices seem minor, but together they reduce cognitive and emotional demand. Your mind no longer has to keep adjusting to an environment you do not control. This is one reason familiar spaces can feel so calming. You know where things are. You know what will happen next. When discomfort appears, you know how to change it. But control can come from two very different places. It can come from confidence. I know what I enjoy and I no longer need to apologize for it. Or it can come from fear. I feel safe only when nothing unexpected can reach me. From the outside, those two people may look exactly the same. Both stay home on a Friday night. Both wear comfortable clothes, make dinner, and turn off their notifications. But internally, they are having different experiences. One person feels restored. After a quiet evening, they are more patient, curious, and emotionally available. They can accept a meaningful invitation next week without feeling threatened by it. The other person feels immediate relief, but their world becomes slightly smaller each time they avoid something uncertain. Invitations begin to feel heavier. Errands feel more disruptive. Other people's emotions become harder to tolerate. The same home can be a sanctuary for one person and emotional protection for another. To understand the difference, you may need to look at how independence became part of your identity. Many people in this generation grew up with an expectation of self-reliance. Not everyone had the same childhood, and not every independent adult was emotionally neglected. But some learned early not to wait for constant reassurance, attention, or assistance. You figured things out. You handled problems quietly. You kept your worries private. You tried not to burden anyone. You became the person who could be trusted to manage the situation. Over time, this creates real confidence. Psychologists sometimes call it self-efficacy, the belief that you can deal with what life puts in front of you. That strength is not imaginary, but every strength can become restrictive when it turns into the only safe way to live. If solving everything alone became part of your identity, asking for help may feel strangely uncomfortable. Not because you believe other people are bad, but because relying on them introduces uncertainty. Will they understand? Will they follow through? Will you have to explain yourself? Will your need be dismissed, minimized, or used against you later? Sometimes doing everything alone feels easier than surviving the vulnerability of needing someone. That is when independence can become emotional armor. You may sincerely enjoy your own company while also using solitude to avoid disappointment, negotiation, or the possibility of being misunderstood. You may turn down an invitation before considering whether you would enjoy it. You may refuse assistance because explaining the problem feels more exhausting than fixing it yourself. You may feel trapped when another person's mood changes the atmosphere, because at home, alone, no one else's emotional state can take control of the room. Yet this does not mean everyone who prefers staying home is secretly wounded. For some people, home becomes more attractive because their inner life has become richer. You may have spent decades discovering what you actually like without needing approval. Cooking slowly, gardening, repairing something with your hands, listening to music you have loved for years, organizing a collection, watching a familiar movie, reading, caring for a pet, sitting in silence without documenting the moment for anyone. There is a quiet form of maturity in no longer needing constant stimulation to feel alive. When your activities are driven by genuine interest rather than outside validation, solitude does not feel empty. It feels inhabited. And after years of adapting to workplaces, partners, children, parents, institutions, bills, and obligations, choosing to stay home may be one of the few decisions that feels entirely yours. Perhaps home is where you finally stop being useful. Outside, people may know you as the reliable one, the competent one, the person who remembers what needs to be done, who anticipates problems, who keeps things moving. Inside, you do not have to earn your place through usefulness. You can simply exist. That may be what you are protecting when you close the door. Not the furniture, not the television, not even the silence. You may be protecting the version of yourself that appears when no one is evaluating, interrupting, depending on or interpreting you. And that version can feel so peaceful that leaving it becomes difficult. This is where home can become both a refuge and a filter. A refuge helps you recover from the world. A filter protects you so completely from uncertainty that the world slowly loses access to you. The difference is not how many evenings you spend at home. It is what those evenings produce inside you. After a quiet weekend, do you feel more open to life? Do you have more patience, energy, and interest? Or do you feel increasingly irritated by every message, appointment, errand, and relationship that interrupts your controlled environment? A safe place supports your ability to leave it. A hiding place gradually convinces you that leaving is the danger. This does not mean you should force yourself into crowded restaurants, unwanted gatherings, or relationships that drain you. Leaving home is not automatically growth, just as staying home is not automatically avoidance. The deeper question is whether you still experience choice. Do you love being home because you finally feel free there? Or because the outside world still makes you feel that you must remain prepared? You might notice the answer not by counting how often you go out, but by observing what happens inside you when you consider it. Do you feel curious, inconvenienced, exposed, overstimulated, obligated? Do you immediately imagine having to manage everyone else's comfort? The next time an invitation arrives, pause before answering. Not to pressure yourself into saying yes, but to identify what your no is protecting. Maybe it is protecting a healthy boundary. Maybe it is protecting your need for rest. Maybe it is protecting the life you genuinely prefer. Or maybe it is protecting you from being seen in a situation you cannot fully control. Awareness does not require you to abandon your sanctuary. It simply gives you the chance to choose it consciously. You can preserve quiet evenings while accepting the invitations that truly matter. You can set clearer boundaries instead of disappearing. You can participate without taking responsibility for everyone's experience. And you can return home because you love it, not because it is the only place where you know how to be yourself. So the next time you close the front door, place your keys on the counter and feel your entire body soften. Do not judge that relief. Listen to it. It may be telling you that you built a life that finally belongs to you. It may be telling you that you need recovery after decades of being dependable. Or it may be revealing a part of you that still believes safety requires isolation. Home can be where you recover from the world. It can be where you discovered your own rhythm. It can even be where you protected yourself when protection was necessary. But true freedom is not only having a place where you can close the door. It is knowing that when you open it again, you do not have to leave yourself behind. If you recognize your own experience here, share in the comments. Does your home restore you, or does it protect you from being seen?